briefly share about the opportunities, the relationship that India and Mauritius share since a very long time. In fact, if you look at the country, it is a population that is almost 70% of Indian origin. So there's an strong Indian connect in Mauritius, and this population started coming to Mauritius right nearly 200 years back. So almost 200 years back, our forefathers went to Mauritius. In fact, they went as laborers to work in the agriculture sector, in the sugarcane plantation, where from there they developed the country, and then they toiled hard, they put their own sacrifice, their own effort, their own labor and everything. And today, where we are today is thanks to our forefathers who have been there for all these years and have made sacrifices under the hands of the colonizers. So if we look at this slide, we will see that India is a key development partner for Mauritius. In fact, India has been there for many, many years. We share almost, I would say today, we share almost 75 years of friendly relationships between India and Mauritius in terms of the diplomatic relation. And today, there are so many Indian companies which are already established. And as I go along this presentation, I will share some of these companies' details with you. And recently, to add up on this strong relationship that the two countries share, so we have signed the agreement, which is a comprehensive economic cooperation and partnership agreement, which is basically a trade agreement for trade in goods and trade in services. And at the same time, the third component, which is being discussed at the moment, which is on economic cooperation between the two countries. Yeah. So here you see that some of the projects, recent projects that have been developed in Mauritius with the support of India, which includes in the healthcare infrastructure, into the transport, that is a metro express, in the judiciary system with a new Supreme Court building. And during the last 2 years, when the COVID pandemic has been here and where countries were locked down, Mauritius has helped, India has helped Mauritius with supplying vaccines and medicines for treatment of this virus. So this is the landmark project that has been developed in Mauritius, so which is a Metro Express project, and it was started a couple of years back, and now today it is already operating. So the first three phases are already operating. The last phase will be developed now, and then new projects have been added again. New lines have been added to this metro project, and L&T from India is developing this project. So just quickly to give you a brief background about the trade relationship or the economic relationship between the two countries. We import a lot from India. I must say we import almost everything, over $800 billion of trade that is import, which is happening from India. And it has this last year, I would say in 2021, there has been a phenomenal increase in the imports from India by 110%. Similarly, we export to India, but very little. You will see it's only $46 million, so highly skewed in terms of trade in favor of India. But our export has now started increasing. We see that there is almost a 45% increase last year. And this is because of the agreement that has been signed now. So because we see that there are new opportunities for trading. So this is already picking up through this agreement that we have signed. And over the years, we know that Mauritius is a financial center, and through this financial center, a lot of investment has come to India via Mauritius. And over the years, almost $154 billion of investment has come to India via Mauritius, and which represents nearly 27% of the total FDI that India has received. So some of the major imports include petroleum products, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, food stuff, because we import over 75% of our food requirements. We import. You take it from grains, pulses, fruits, vegetables, dairy products. So almost everything we import from various sources, but India is a major supplier. And then some of the exports that we are sending to India includes medical devices, recycling materials, optical goods, and all that. And some of the Mauritius companies which are operating in India, we have the SBM, which is a State Bank of Mauritius, which is the second largest bank in Mauritius, which has a presence in India. In fact, the SBM has been the first foreign bank that the central bank in India has given a wholly owned subsidiary license to operate in India. So this is the first foreign bank that has got this license. And then we have a company in logistics, and we have in textiles and all that. Yeah, and of course there are many companies in Mauritius from India which are operating. So quickly, just to briefly give you a glance about the country. So we are a small population, 1.3 million. I say that we are 1,000 times less than the population of India. But when you look at the market access that the country provides, and Mauritius is an interesting and very attractive option for companies to look at and consider. So as I said, the country is small in size, but we do have a huge exclusive economic zone. That is our water resource is huge in terms of, the exclusive economic zone, which is 2.3 million square kilometers. And we are first in Africa in the Global Innovation Index, second in Sub-Saharan Africa in the Global Services Location Index by 𝐒𝐞𝐞𝐰𝐫𝐚𝐣. We have a very high literacy rate, almost 91%. First in Africa in terms of the business climate. So Mauritius, when you look at it with all these attributes, it is a very safe and reliable investment and business destination as well. It is a diversified economy. In fact, when we became independent 54 years back, so we were a monocrop agriculture economy, entirely dependent on sugarcane cultivation. And over the years, we have diversified into various industries, including manufacturing, financial services, ICT and BPO, logistics and freeport, pharmaceuticals, professional services, and the rest of the services, which includes education, healthcare, real estate, media, agro-industry, and all that. In fact, when you look at media industry, it is a major industry where India is also in doing a lot of production, a lot of shooting from India happens in Mauritius. So some of the main economic sectors I mentioned about manufacturing, which is contributing today almost above 12% of the contribution comes from manufacturing. Then we have tourism, we have financial services, real estate, ICT and BPO. Over the last 2 years, tourism had taken a major slump because our borders were closed. So tourism was really very badly affected. But we reopened our borders in October last year, in October 2021. And since then, tourism has started picking up again. And we are getting, the figures look very encouraging, because when we were looking at the figures for April, we see that the numbers have reached beyond expectations. So tourism is back again in business. So why should somebody consider to invest in Mauritius? Very simple. It is a safe destination. It is very stable, and it is a great place to live. The infrastructure is very good. There's global connectivity. The environment in terms of doing business is very friendly. So all the reasons are very compelling for companies to explore and consider doing business from Mauritius, setting up and doing business from Mauritius. So as I mentioned, it is a very safe place to live. So and for these reasons, you will see that we have political stability. There is cultural diversity. In fact, we are multicultural, I would say, population. Majority of them is from India, Indian origin, 60–70% I mentioned. We have settlers who came from Europe, from France, from UK. We have slaves who came from Africa, and we also have some Chinese people. So we are very a diverse set of ethnic population. Multilingual, we speak French, we speak English. I can speak Hindi. I mean, we have third languages, as I mentioned, Hindi, Bhojpuri, Marathi, and all that. So when it comes to the business environment, you will see that it is very fairly easy to set up a business in Mauritius. In fact, a company can be registered within the same day in Mauritius. So you go and submit your application to the registrar of companies, and then in the same day, you will get your company incorporated, and you will have your certificate of incorporation in your hands. So 100% foreign ownership. So you don't need a local partner when it comes to the shareholding. There is no need for that. So you can entirely hold your own company. The company will be in your own control. In terms of foreign exchange, there is no foreign exchange control, unlike what we have in India with the RBI. You have to respect the guidelines of the RBI. Of course, we also do have our financial regulatory guidelines and all that, but when it comes to transmission of money and all that, so there is no control on that. We have a very harmonized taxation rate at 15%, but for certain sectors, we do provide certain benefits. For example, in the Manufacturing of pharmaceutical products, we are providing an 8-year tax holiday to start with. And then for other activities such as export-oriented activities, like for the textile and garment industry, that is majorly focused on exports. So for them, there is a 3% tax only that they pay because they are export-oriented. We do not have capital gains tax, which is very encouraging for companies to look at. And then also we have a very hybrid legal system, which is based on the English common law and also on the French Code Napoleon, which is a civil law. And profits and capital can be freely repatriated. There will be no issue about doing that. Infrastructure is very good. Global connectivity is there, and we also have world-class talents. And we also do encourage companies and to recruit foreign talents as well. Diversified economy I mentioned. So some of the industries I mentioned earlier, here you see the other industries, which are the logistics is there, pharmaceutical manufacturing. In fact, pharmaceutical manufacturing and medical devices manufacturing is a priority area where we are focusing and encouraging companies to come and set up in Mauritius. Some companies I'm talking to in India, in the pharmaceutical industry, they're very interested. So most probably we will be seeing soon, very soon, a few of these Indian pharma companies setting up in Mauritius. So media and creative, I mentioned, IT, consumer business, professional services, and all that is there. So the business environment, as I mentioned, within a day, the company can be incorporated. There is a rule of law, no exchange control, and the taxation rate is harmonized at 15%, whether it is for the corporate tax, for the individual income tax, or even for the value-added tax. No capital gains tax, 100% for ownership. This is a dual legal framework, as you can see it here. The infrastructure, as I mentioned, is a very modern infrastructure, whether it is in terms of the road network. Now we have started with the metro project also, the seaport, the airport, healthcare infrastructure, educational facilities, even in terms of real estate also, we have very good, excellent infrastructure, quality infrastructure in Mauritius. So what we can see here is one of the famous areas in Mauritius, which is a cyber city. Today, it is not only a cyber city, it is also a hub for financial services activities. Some of the international benchmarks, we have been first in Africa for over 15 years in terms of the ease of doing business. So our ease of doing this business environment is very conducive for businesses to set up. It's a leading business-friendly platform. I'll show you in a slide later. That is, we have preferential market access to almost 75% of the world market. So I'll show that in a slide later on. Here you go. So here you can see that Mauritius, we cover almost 3/4 of the global markets in terms of preferential market access, which means that we have agreements, trade agreements with different parts of the world, with the European Union, with UK, with United States, with China, with India. We have just signed 𝐒𝐞𝐞𝐰. 𝐒𝐞𝐞𝐰 is the latest that we have added in our list of free trade agreements. And then also with Africa, with the region. That is, with the region, there used to be SADC, Southern African Development Community, and COMESA. And now the entire continent of Africa is under an FTA, which is called the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. So these different agreements to which Mauritius is a signatory, so gives access for products from Mauritius. When I say from Mauritius, basically either manufactured in Mauritius or value added in Mauritius and then exported from Mauritius. Then these products will go duty-free to most parts of this, in most of these markets. So this is a major advantage that companies have been able to take advantage, I would say, benefit that companies have been able to take advantage of and grow their business from Mauritius because they have access to the global market. So some of the products that we produce and export in Mauritius, this is a 2019 figure, but still very much valid in terms of the products. Probably the value may have increased by now. So textile and apparel garments, seafood, sugar, processed food, alcoholic beverages, fruits, light engineering, medical devices, animal feed, printing materials, chemicals, and jewelry. Plus there are many more. And some of our key markets here we see UK, France, US, South Africa, Italy, and there are others now. India also will be in the list. Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, so 𝐒𝐞𝐞𝐰𝐫 is the latest in our relationship between the two countries that has been added in terms of the economic reinforcing the economic ties between the two countries. This was signed in February last year, 2021, and became operational on the 1st of April 2021. And now, in fact, this is also the first agreement that India has signed with any country in Africa. So what are the major components of this agreement? As I mentioned earlier, it's about trade in goods and trade in services, and economic cooperation will be added, the third chapter in this agreement. So some of the advantages, we see that this agreement provides preferential market access to 615, I would say, tariff lines of made in Mauritius products for exports to India. These include special sugars, garments, medical devices, and the rest. And similarly, India will benefit from preferential access for 310 products when these products are exported to Mauritius. So some of the products here, I've just given a quick overview in terms of special sugars, where we have access for 40,000 tons of special sugars that can come into India at a reduced duty of only 10%, because the normal import duty in India for sugar is 100%. But when it comes from India, it's only at 10%. Similarly, for alcoholic beverages, we have got 1.5 million liters. In fact, it's 6 million liters, because when we go into the different, I would say, HS codes, it gives 6 million liters total for export at only 50% duty. Because when you look at the duty structure in India for import of alcoholic beverages, you have 150% of import duty plus 150% of cess. That is Agriculture and Infrastructure Development, cess. So when you add these two, it's 300%, but when it is coming from Mauritius, it is coming only at 50%. So that's a major advantage that companies can get when they are importing products from India to, from Mauritius to India. And similarly for garments and for canned tuna. Garments and canned tuna are duty-free, but there is a quota that has been given under these categories. But I've given only a few of these items. In fact, there are 615, as I mentioned earlier. Similarly, for services also, there has been commitments from both sides to provide market access. So some of the sectors are mentioned here. It's about banking, financial services, telecommunications, insurance, professional services, and the rest. So let's look at Africa now. When I said that Mauritius is also a good platform, it's a platform for doing investment or trading with Africa, because Africa represents, it's not one single country, it's a continent of, just like in India, you have so many states, 29 states. Similarly, Africa has 54 countries. So each country has its own rules, own regulations, and all specificities and all that. But Mauritius provides a platform where business can be done, investment can be done via Mauritius into these different countries, because we have trade agreements, we have treaties with many of these African countries. And the other aspect is also Mauritius is bilingual. We speak French, we speak English, and in Africa, there are many countries which are also Francophone countries, that is French-speaking countries. So Mauritius provides that sort of that sort of advantage. And the advantage also of looking at Africa as a market, it is as I mentioned, it is also a population of 1.2 billion people, almost the same size of India. And it also has a very young population. So 60% of their population is below 25 years of age today. So it's a huge population, it is growing, it has reserves, it has agricultural land. So there are many opportunities if companies from India are looking at exploring the opportunity to invest beyond India. So Africa can be a good option, and Mauritius plays a very good strategy in terms of getting this investment done in the different countries in Africa. So some of the opportunities for companies from India to explore investing, we will see that there is financial services. Basically, in the services sector, we speak about financial services. It can be wealth management, asset management, investment banking, regional headquartering, in terms of healthcare, logistics, education, or even in the new technologies, but also in manufacturing. Where I mentioned manufacturing today, we are focusing more on medical devices, on pharmaceuticals. And also, as I mentioned, that is, we are importing almost above 75% of our food import requirements is imported. So there is an opportunity also for food processing activities to take place in Mauritius. So some of the Indian companies which are present in Mauritius, we can see the big names like, of course, public sector, but also private sector companies are there. And across sectors, you will see them in the financial services sector, with the banks, in the tourism industry, in the infrastructure sector, IT, telecommunications, healthcare, education. So the different sectors, they are present in Mauritius. Yeah. So Mauritius is also not only about coming and doing business, investing and growing the business, but also about living, about staying in the country. So this is where we also provide a unique lifestyle experience where companies or individuals come and invest, they work, they live, and they can also retire in Mauritius. So the different options are available. So now we have transitioned from a 10-year occupation or residence permit to a 20-year permanent residency. This is something new that we have come up with. So be it somebody who is coming in as an investor or coming as a self-employed person or as a professional working in a company or as a retired person, or even as dependents being part of the family who is coming. So for these different categories, we provide this flexibility of conversion into residence, permanent residency. So to invest in Mauritius or working and living in Mauritius, so there are different ways of doing it. So basically we come up with the occupation permit, which is an occupation permit that is whether somebody wants to invest, want to work, or want to live in Mauritius. So one permit, which is called the occupation permit, is required. So there are different conditions to be adhered, to be complied with, and then this becomes very easy for the person to invest and stay in the country. So what we have also done, we have extended the validity of the occupation permit. Initially it was 3 years, now we have made it for 10 years. Similarly, for somebody who is coming and acquiring a property in Mauritius, we have reduced that value in terms of qualifying or being eligible for acquiring the property from $500,000 now we have reduced it to $375,000. And as I mentioned about dependents, so an investor can bring his family or her family with him or her, can be spouse and kids or children, or even parents as dependents can also come and stay in Mauritius. So these are the basically these are the eligibility criteria. I won't go into much details about it because I can share that later with you all. So we also now have come up when the lockdown was there, but we have kept this. We have come up with this concept of premium travel visa, which is a long stay visa. Normally, for somebody who's traveling from India, I mean, an Indian citizen who is going to Mauritius, there is no need to apply for a visa. It's a visa on arrival. So you just go to Mauritius, you get your visa on arrival at the counter at immigration. That's how simple it is. And now we have come up with a premium travel visa, which is a long stay visa, which is anything between 6 months up to 1 year. And if the individual wants to extend this premium travel visa, this is also possible. So the person can extend this. And the premium travel visa or even the normal visa is provided free of charge. So we don't charge anything for the visa. There is no processing fee, nothing. So it's free of charge. And to apply for the premium travel visa, there is an online application process which can be done. And then once this is approved, the person can travel to Mauritius. So this is available, as I mentioned, for 6 up to 12 months. It can be renewable, it is free, and it is open to all professionals, to digital nomads, to families, and also to retirees. It is about working remotely from a safe environment. Retiring in Mauritius, so we offer this option or the possibility if you have parents, for example. We know that many of our Indian friends or brothers and sisters, they are based outside of India. They are based probably in the western part of the world, but the parents are still in India. If they want the parents to also to be in a different environment where it is more pleasant to stay and live, they can consider retiring in Mauritius. And retiree basically is about residency by retirement. So initially the retiree has to transfer a minimum of $1,500 every month, or an aggregate of $18,000 per year. That is living expenses, and there is a 10-year residency permit that is provided with that. Similarly, we have come up with a new concept of senior living. So, as professionals, if the professional has a senior parent whom he would like to send to Mauritius, so this is also possible to live in Mauritius under this new program that we have come up with. So, the more details about the residency program in Mauritius can be checked here at www.residency.mu. So how to get a residency in Mauritius? Basically, it's about investing or working or acquiring property or even retiring. And we do have property here. You can see some of the beautiful pictures of the properties which are available in Mauritius. If somebody wants to acquire property, this is also possible. And there are different schemes which are there in Mauritius for acquiring these property. So here, if somebody is able to scan it from here, they will be able to see more information about all this information that I'm sharing. I will also share this presentation later so that this can be circulated among the bank members. And Mauritius, as I mentioned, it's a beautiful place, whether it is in terms of the culture, spiritual places which are there. Here you can see a beautiful picture of Shiva, which is close to the Ganga Talav, which is a famous lake in Mauritius, where hundreds of people go, hundreds and thousands of people go to Ganga Talav on pilgrimage from faraway places, all parts of Mauritius during the Mahashivratri festival. They walk for 3-4 nights and come back home walking again. So this is as big as what we can see Diwali to be in India. Diwali also is a big festival in Mauritius, by the way. Yeah. And we celebrate all festivals. We celebrate Mahashivratri, Diwali, Eid, Ganesh Chaturthi, Kavdi, the Chinese New Year, Easter, Christmas. So different festivals are celebrated in Mauritius. So we say Mauritius is heaven on earth. So a quick word about the Economic Development Board. This is an organization that I also represent. Here in Mumbai, I'm based in Mumbai with the Consulate of the Republic of Mauritius, but I also represent the Economic Development Board, which is the National Economic Development Agency of government operating in the Ministry of Finance, Economic Planning and Development. And the 4 core areas on which EDB Mauritius focuses on is, or rather, are the strategic economic planning, trade and investment promotion, business facilitation, and country branding. So I'll stop here. I have my details here. So if there are questions, I'll be more than happy to take questions. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Seewraj. I think you've taken us on a tour of Mauritius, and obviously it looks so beautiful. I think from all aspects, both from business as well as staying there and enjoying, as you rightly said, looks like heaven on earth. So that's really, really great. So I think this is the first time I got to know so much about Mauritius in terms of business as well, and the latest agreement which we have had with Indian government. I think that is also that positions us very, very strongly in terms of if you really want to import or export anything out of Mauritius. I have a couple of questions, and guys, if you want to ask anything, maybe you can raise your hand, and then we can ask Seewraj about that. So a couple of questions, Seewraj. First one was that let's say somebody from bank or otherwise also wants to set up their business in Mauritius, right? How to approach about that? Is there a website? Is there a link, or is there a help desk wherein we can go and ask very specific questions related to our trade?
Yes, definitely, Jaspreet. In fact, this is a very purpose I'm here in Mumbai. So I'll be the first contact point, and then from there, depending on the specific requirement of the person, then I'll be able to guide accordingly and how to take it forward. So the way we look at it is that we facilitate this type of interaction, whether it is about trading, whether it is about investing, whether it is about business. And we facilitate in the sense that we have a team in Mauritius. Of course, the head office is in Mauritius, so the team is there. So I'll put the person from India in touch with the team in Mauritius. And then from here, the person can travel and have various different meetings. And these meetings will be facilitated by our colleagues, my colleagues in Mauritius, so that the person who is going from India goes there beforehand, knowing that he or she already has a plan of meetings already scheduled for the person when the person reaches Mauritius. So this is the way we do it. And then of course we do the facilitation part, and then the business happens between the party from India and the company from Mauritius. Yeah.
Wow, that's really great, Raj. Is there any minimum investment criteria? Let's say I want to invest, or I want to buy out a business, or I just want to go and explore. So is there any criteria in terms of that? That's the minimum kind of investment if it is required?
Yes, in fact, we do have a minimum investment. Well, we have to make a distinction here, because when you look at the legislation, when I say legislation, basically when you set up a company, you register a company in Mauritius, at that time, there is no requirement in terms of minimum capital. So at the time of setting up the company, there is no requirement. So you can set up a company even with 1 rupee nominal amount of capital. That's how it is, okay? Where it comes with the minimum investment is when the person is setting up, registering the company, and then investing in a project. And at the same time, will require a permit to stay in Mauritius, to basically to work and live in Mauritius. So at that time, this is where the occupation permit comes into play. So occupation permit for the person who is investing, this is an occupation permit as investor category. And for this category, there is a minimum investment of 50,000 US dollars. That is almost, I will say, 40 lakh of INR. Yeah.
Okay. And when you say this investment, how do you really make that investment? Do you have to invest in that particular venture, or is it some, government body? How do you really make that investment? And what happens to those funds?
That investment goes into the project that the person is putting it, Okay. It goes into the project directly. It doesn't go into a government fund or here or there. It goes directly into the project. Yes.
That business on which you are investing in.
Yes. Yes.
So for example, let's say if I'm a professional and I want to set up my consulting practice there, and you talked about professionals as well, or for that matter, anybody else. So how would that person make that investment?
So it will be in the form of office space, equipment, and this and that. Because basically when I say $50,000, it's you have to show it, because there should be a transfer of funds from, into the bank account of the company that has been registered in Mauritius. Okay.
Not necessarily spending those funds. Once you have got the funds, obviously it will take time, depending upon the kind of business you are in.
Absolutely. Right? Okay. Yeah.
One last question, and then we can open it up for the audience, and maybe Ashita, you can ask more about your specific subject. So you mentioned about a point, repatriation of funds without any capital and as well as profit. So these repatriation of funds would happen only from the country those funds came initially. So let's say I invest funds from India and to Mauritius, and I've invested, let's say, $100,000, and I have another company in Singapore as well. So I want to route those funds, or probably send those funds to Singapore. So is that also permissible?
Yes. We allow that to happen. Yeah. We do that, yes, because we are financial centers, so the funds come from all over the place, and then it can be transferred to anywhere. Yes, this is
great. And the taxation structure is 15%. You said flat.
15% flat. Certain categories, there are some, I would say some flexibilities provided. For example, when you look at the financial services, if you set up a global business company, and you are getting foreign income in this company, which is registered in Mauritius, then you will pay only 3% tax on those foreign income which is coming into Mauritius.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So thank you, Seewraj. Yeah, Ashita, if you want to go ahead, please.
Yeah. Hi, Seewraj. Thank you for the wonderful information that you've given us. My company is into filmmaking and animation. So we create these corporate films, promotional content for manufacturers and services. So what I wanted to know is, if we want to have a tie-up with companies in Mauritius, and we just want to sit here in India, provide our services, and have a tie-up with companies in Mauritius, is there a way that the government of Mauritius helps us? And is there any other way that we can, get in touch with people like that?
Yes, when it comes to the film industry, so basically what happens is that there is a film rebate scheme whereby production which is happening in Mauritius by whether it is from a foreign producer or a local producer, so they get up to 30% of rebate on their expenses in Mauritius. So for that, there are line producers who are working along with the main producers, whether these come from India, from US, from Europe, or anywhere. So the line producers are the main point of contacts for these projects to happen in Mauritius. So I think your requirement would be more inclined towards working with the line producers, because then they will be able to connect you with those companies which are setting up or which are doing projects in Mauritius. If that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. And can we get this information from somewhere on the website where we can go and have a look and then start doing our research on our end?
Yeah, sure. I'll just type the website here so that you can all have a look at it and then look and then probably get the information from there. So it's www.edbmauritius.edbmauritius.org. I've typed it here. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, sir.
Hello.
Kushumaji, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you so much for giving us this insightful details about Mauritius, and I was almost there. So I belong to legal profession. So I wanted to know that do we have Indian lawyers in Mauritius, and what is the system? It follows the common law system with the civil law system?
Yeah, so our law, our legal system follows mostly the common British common law, and we do have the highest court of appeal being the Privy Council of the UK, and so Privy Council, and then we have the Supreme Court, and then we have the intermediary courts, and then the district courts and all that. And at the same time, we do also have, there is a dual system because we also rely on the French Code Napoleon. It is mostly for the Code Civil, that is a civil code, as we say. So, but yes, mostly about the British system, most of our laws. In fact, all of our laws are written in English. The modern law, I'm saying, it is written in English. So that being said, I'm not quite sure whether we do have Indian lawyers practicing in Mauritius, but yes, we do welcome foreign law firms to set up. I know that there are some law firms which have set up in Mauritius, being a jurisdiction that is a financial center, that is an international financial center. We need this type of skills and talents to be able to service jurisdiction. So we do welcome. And I'll be more than happy if there is a foreign law firm, I'm saying foreign. If an Indian law firm would be keen to set up in Mauritius, we will be more than happy to facilitate that and support that setup in Mauritius. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Hi, sir. My name is Navneet. I'm into trophies and awards manufacturing, as well as I'm into home decor. So I just want to know if you can just give a glimpse that as it's a growing economy and a lot of constructions and a lot of infrastructure is already growing up there. So how do you think, is there any, how big is the scope for the home decor business line over there?
See, the real estate market is booming in Mauritius. That's what I can tell you. Real estate market is booming because, in the slides, I've shown a few pictures which are really high-end, I would say, luxury villas which are being developed, which have been developed, and which are sold to high-end, I would say, high net worth individuals, mostly coming from Europe. Some of them come from India, mostly coming from Europe, mainly France, UK, South Africa, and other parts of the world. So having said that, it is a booming market in terms of the construction real estate business. So yes, home decor products are required in Mauritius. What I can tell you very honestly today is that India is not there yet in terms of the home decor products, because simply because I will say that a lot of Chinese products are in Mauritius. So if you want to get your products coming to Mauritius, I think it's a good time to start looking seriously about it and doing it, because otherwise Chinese will always be there. Yeah.
So it's there. See, the competition with the China is everywhere, all over the world. It's a, I mean, wherever you see the bulk is there, the Chinese is also there, already there.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the right way to enter into the market? So shall we start connecting to the people over there who are already trading with this, or should we set up a small store kind of that thing?
See, I will say that setting
Just your
up
suggestion I am asking.
Yes, no, definitely. I will definitely say that setting up, I mean, you will also agree with me that setting up a showroom or a store there in Mauritius will definitely help, because then the people will get to see the product and you will be able to also develop the market very quickly. That's the fastest, I would say, the most a reliable way of doing it. You can also export the product if you find a good partner, reliable partner in Mauritius, and then export the product from here. But then your partner should be able to, push the product in the market. But if you being there with your own product, it makes a lot of difference. And this is where some of the Chinese guys, always they're like that. I mean, you rightly said that they're almost everywhere in every part of the world, but wherever they go, they like to go and start doing things by themselves, and then they take the market in a very big way. Yeah. So I think the first option of setting up a store it looks something more viable. I won't say viable immediately, but rather something more. It's better to start this way. Yeah.
And sir, again, my main business is trophies and awards.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any way out? I'm sorry, I'm asking many questions.
No.
Is there any way out that I can reach to the event agencies, or who the people who are doing the events over there, or to whom we can connect over there, so that they can we can pitch in our products, because we are specialists into customized trophy manufacturing. So we create IFA filmware, if you have heard of. So we are the ones who are making all these awards.
Okay, yeah. No, I can connect you with the Chamber of Commerce, and then their members who are into this type of products, they can get in touch with you. So I can connect you with the Chamber of Commerce in Mauritius. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
So you send me a mail. Share this presentation where you have my details.
Sure.
You can send me a mail after that, and then I'll connect you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure.
Yeah, good morning, Seewraj. Myself is Rajiv Sharma, and I am running a international logistics company in India. Okay. Can you advise me how many logistics companies available in Russia, Mauritius?
Logistics companies, we have many logistics companies, I will say. Both of them, from both international, firms as well as local firms. And all these companies, they are based in Mauritius, servicing the domestic market, but at the same time, being an export-oriented country, this is where the major part of the business is happening. Export-oriented, but also import that happens in the country. So, and as I said, that there are many of them. I mentioned one of them, which is Velogic, which is in fact, Velogic is a major player in Mauritius, and they are also present in India now. They're present, I think, in 8 or 9 cities in India, including Mumbai. And this is one company. And then there are many, many others, as I said. So if you speak of logistics companies, you have the likes of DHL, FedEx, and of these types. These are international logistics companies. And then you do have, as I said, the others like Maersk, which is also not only a shipping line, but also a logistics company. Because they're more sea cargo, sea logistics, so they're also present in Mauritius. So yes, there are many of them. I don't have the exact numbers, but I can tell you there are quite a few. Yeah.
Can you share me any link about the how many companies are working in logistics sector? Can you share any links, or so that I can go through that?
Yeah. So when you say you're into logistics, which type of logistics are you into?
We are in by sea shipment and by air consignment. We are doing the custom clearance and freight forwarding business.
Oh, customs clearance and freight forwarding. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll try to get that list. So what I'll do, I'll request you to just drop me a mail after I've shared my presentation where you have my details and all that. Or I can also type it here. It will be easier.
Yeah, sure. You can do that, Suraj.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that, and then you drop me a mail, and then I'll try to get this information for you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I've already tapped my mail. You can get it.
So guys, everyone can take a note of that. Otherwise, I will share that personally with all of you also. So Suraj, one last question from me. Do we have platforms like BANC or other business owners platforms? So my thought process was that if we can set up a mixer with people, those who are based out of Mauritius as well as BANC, we do this speed networking sessions every Wednesday, or we can do on any other day as well, wherein the actually business on